Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Scream Scene. I'm Jody Dean. Tonight I have filmmaker. Actually, he's a writer, he's a director, he's an actor. Joseph Kelly. I know about him from his Clown Motel. One, two. It's become a franchise. It's a big thing. He is doing three. I got on the horn and we got him here tonight. Joseph, what's going on, bud?
Hey Jody, thanks for having me. Yeah, Clown Motel, whole franchise right now, so going good.
I'm so excited, man. Thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Um, what got you? First off, where are you from, and what got you into filmmaking?
Yeah, of course. I'm from Orange County, and when I say that, people think California, Florida, but actually Orange County, New York, where they do Orange County Choppers. Went to college in Rochester, New York, and ever picked up filming from there. Went to college for film and visual communications, and I just loved it ever since I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. Holding a camera. There we go.
Man, that's so cool. So when it comes to the writing, the directing, the acting, I've seen you've acted in some stuff. Is there one that you prefer, you like the best?
Just like it depends, I guess, on the film too. I mean, overall, probably directing,
Hmm.
but I do like if I'm just acting on one film, I like that as well. But when you're doing multiple things, it could be, tasking and yeah, little up there.
Absolutely. What was now? I don't know this. I did go down the rabbit hole a little bit, but was the first Clown Motel film the first film that you did yourself? That was yours?
Yeah, no, so I actually did my first one was in Rochester, New York, in my college town. When 2008, I did a feature called Community Service Serial Killer Base. And then we did a sequel around 2012 called Bloody Island, and that was with Sean C. Phillips, Mindy Robinson,
Oh,
and
okay.
WWF wrestler Curtis Hughes. So we did that, and that was actually filmed at an amusement park in New York, so that was really cool. And then
Wow.
we come to Clown Motel. Yep.
So when Clown Motel happened, the crazy thing is as a YouTuber, this is my smaller channel, but my bigger channel, where I got 250,000 followers, like that's all like paranormal, scary adventures. And I can tell you, being a part of um that pocket on the platform, us YouTubers love the Clown Motel, but this is different. What you did is actually took the Clown Motel and you made a horror film out of it.
Yeah, yep, that's definitely right. And in the first one, Clown Motel, we kind of added a little of, ghost adventures, searching for the ghosts and all that. And you do have that amazing cemetery right there in 1900 to 1911.
Right.
And one of our actors, Hammy, I don't know if you've seen that scene, but Johnny Perotti, he's big into that as well. The ghost, hunting and all that.
There's so many people that they just love the Clown Motel. Anytime a Clown Motel video goes up, any kind of content, they gravitate towards it. But your film is truly it's different. It's got characters, it's got a story. It's not just people just there ghost hunting.
Hmm.
um when this came out, was what was the success like with the film?
We didn't know what to expect. We know we had a good little fan base and stuff, but it kind of blew up a little more than we expected. Walmart, Best Buy, first time being in Walmart, so that was great.
Yeah.
And then you go overseas to 12 different countries. The UK, top 10 Microsoft, Turkish box office. So we're actually in the theaters in Turkey, which is pretty cool. Top 14. And, if I knew that, I'd probably actually fly down and go see it.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. As a filmmaker myself, I'm still waiting for that Walmart experience and the movie theater experience. That's huge. So was that moment, I mean, I know you've done other things now, you just mentioned, but was that was that a huge moment? Is that a highlight moment on the career reel?
Yeah, that's pretty much my highlight right now, I would say. But, even what you're saying with the Walmart and stuff, I'm just hoping like DVDs, with Best Buy and Target going out and stuff. And I'm surprised Redbox is still hanging in there, which I like. And Walmart, and hopefully DVDs pick back up, with ultra high definition DVDs. And, we could only hope because that was, majority, maybe half of our sales.
Yeah, I just had that conversation with a film producer a little bit ago. We were talking about, we're in high hopes that physical media is going to continue to be valued I know it is for the collectors out there, you know, like us
Mhm. Oh
horror
yeah.
collectors, man. You know, we want to own everything of our favorite films, right?
Mhm.
Um, I think that's one thing you do got with the Clown Motel is there an opportunity? Has it presented itself? Is it coming? Maybe since 3 is in the works, you know, like Spencer's, are they in play? Or is there products in play? Is there something there that people can look forward to, that they can go an extra step further as a fan, maybe like toys or anything like that?
With toys, I mean that's a possibility. I mean, actually, this week we started our first comic book, so that's in the process, and we hope to release that next year with our feature film, Clown Motel Three Ways to Hell. So there's potential there. We just got to see what kind of potential, and we try to do a little at a time. So comic book here, then maybe next we know action figures, or who knows?
Right.
Like Terrifier. You got a whole franchise just from that, and yeah,
It
people love it.
it's crazy. I interviewed the producer of Terrifier this morning, and we had a big conversation about the, you know, all the stuff that comes with it. But I think it's the only genre horror. You know, I'll see somebody out there with the John Wayne tattoo supporting the
Mhm.
Westerns. I'll see somebody with the Terminator tattoo, but it's the only genre that you see people tatting themselves up with the characters. They're wearing the shirts, they're living it, they're breathing it. You don't see that from like rom-coms and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't have Brady Bunch tattoos.
Yeah. Um, so part two comes out, and that was a success too.
Yeah, that was pretty good. We actually held back a little bit, so we didn't go overseas yet. We're weighing our options. So we did go local in the United States, and that was a nice run for half year and stuff. So we pulled back, and now we're trying to do redistribution. But the question is, if we want to release it this fall, or if we want to release it next year with Clown Motel 3, so it'd be like a duel with a new distribution company. So
Yeah. I think us filmmakers and anybody in the industry that wants to keep digital and media alive, we're going to have to start possibly getting to a point where we're going to package things uniquely in order for them to be like you
oh
hit it with the comic book. I mean, that's genius idea. People love comics, they love horror, but I think it's coming to that point where you got to be very unique to keep it alive.
yeah, that's definitely true. And where you could sell it, as you said, Walmart, different outlets. If we have the comic book, now we could go in Barnes and Noble, possibly. And another good thing is too having a good relationship with the actual owners of the Clown Motel too, so we could sell merchandise there. And half the people that go there, they don't stay the night, which they should. They
Mhm.
go there to buy merchandise. I saw one guy walk in, buy $400 in merchandise, and just walk out.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Another conversation I had today, and I want to reiterate some things with you because the cool thing about I think this podcast and this channel, which will be unique, is a lot of podcasts they might be into horror, but they're not filmmakers. So like I'm a filmmaker, I'm a YouTuber, I own a haunted house attraction in Fort Gaines, Georgia. So like I come at it from a different view. But as a filmmaker, I'm sure with getting in Walmart and stuff, you probably did like distribution deals and stuff like that. It, have you been down the road of doing distribution yourself? And do you favor that?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a possibility, but it's just, it's harder than it looks because, you can do Amazon by yourself. You used to have more access to do things by yourself,
Hmm.
but then, they're limited what you can do right now. So, I mean, it definitely takes a weight off just having a distribution company, and it's just trying to find the right ones with the right terms. And, of course, we all end up in streaming in the long run, but
Right.
we want to get our DVDs and VODs in first before that.
It's come to the point with as far as movie theaters go, and knowing if this thing is going to get shown, if a distributor is going to step in there, right? Is that um, the movie almost has to have a buzz pre-production, mid-production. Like there has to be something that's like almost hit the internet at this point and said, okay, we have a feeling this is gonna pop. It's the game's changed a little bit, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. And just this week we were on iHorror, which is one of the biggest horror websites, twice this week, so that was great. And we're just getting out there too. We had things going, but then we took a year and a half off, and then building back up again. And we built twice as many fans in the last 6 months. and just getting out there again, building it up. And one thing that definitely helps too is having names attached because some reason a movie could be great, but they don't see any names. Distribution won't even look at it, which is,
Mhm.
it's the same
Yeah.
thing with the script. Sometimes if you don't have the budget script, you could be a great script writer. It's a whole process.
Yeah, yeah, that's coming up so much in the conversation. I mean, and you never know what these movies are gonna do. It truly is a gamble. It's like walking up to a slot machine, right? You can have the best script, the best actors. You could put $50 million into the picture, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be seen, right? Because
Mhm.
usually you're spending $50 million on it. You hear a lot of times people going over budget, so that means it all ends up on screen or salary so people can actually get through the whole project. And there's no money for promotion. I mean, it's not like you're spending 50 million, 4 million on
Mhm.
promoting these films. So like it's really a shot, isn't it? It's a shot in the
Oh
dark.
yeah, definitely. And like, with Death House too, that had like a list of horror icons and stuff. And I think it was made for a few million. And I think they held off like a few years to sell it because, the thing wasn't right. Then Netflix finally gave them a reasonable offer that actually I think paid back their budget. So
Mm.
it's sometimes a waiting game. Sometimes even when you get picked up by Lionsgate, it could be, okay, we bought your movie, and then it's 2 years later they want to release it.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. It's very similar to the music industry. What's the what's the lowest amount of money you've ever had to make a movie?
So that was probably my first feature film, besides short films, of course.
Mhm.
First feature film, community service. We probably shot that on about $15,000. But each film we look to go up and up, of course. In the last Clown Motel 2, we did about 140, $150,000 budget. And this time around for Clown Motel 3, we're looking at about 150, $200,000 budget. And that's like, our starting point. So who knows, if we get another big side outside investor, you never know. But, we're like, we can make a good movie because we've done it before with Clown Motel 2. We know how much it's going to cost. So 150,000, and we should be able to put, a great piece together.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a nice pocket to be in. And did I see you have Andy Dick in this thing?
No, so that's so strange, but
Okay,
someone else put a Clown Motel 3 up. They're not related to the production.
got
We
you.
have a couple, but that ICP. But it's so funny because I actually went to Andy Dick's house a few times. So I'm
Wow,
not sure. Did Andy put himself on this movie, or what's going on?
he's freaking he is hilarious. But yeah, you gotta hate when we won't talk about that. But so you're in pre-production stages of 3. Is it like just
Yeah.
getting everything together? I mean, you obviously know the location, so you don't have no scouting or anything to do, right?
Yep. So our locations are pretty set. We're going to shoot pretty much at the same locations. We have like a Western town in Lancaster, California,
Mhm.
do some military conference rooms. Then we have, of course, the scariest motel in America, the Clown Motel. We'll shoot there for about 5 days. And then we'll move over to like Henderson, Nevada, Boulder City, Nevada, where the caves are. There's a nice lake island we're going to shoot at, like an escape room. So we got pretty much everything lined up. And yeah, we're excited because we'll be shooting at a lake for the first time. And one thing we're going to have is I don't know if you watched, I forgot which zombie film it is, but there's zombies coming out of the water. So I kind of want to do that with the clowns coming out of the water.
That is cool. I have a thing about water being in like video games, movies, or anything. So I do look forward to seeing that. Especially if they look like waterlogged zombies. That sounds
Oh
awesome.
yeah, just walking out furious. Yeah, man.
Wow, man. Well, now I'm really excited. Do you I know this is a bit of a tricky one. Uh as an actor, I would assume anybody prefers to work on a studio film. But as a filmmaker, do you prefer making indie horror films or do you like it when like maybe a studio's attached?
It depends. I mean, like which side I'm on. Like directing wise, you have more flexibility and stuff.
Yeah.
Acting wise, it was smaller roles in the big movies. But then when you have like independent films, like an example is compatible, I had like flexibility to expand that role to do, what I couldn't do otherwise.
Right. I would assume that the difference from what I've heard from everybody, I've never done it, and I plan on staying independent till I DIE. But from what I've heard from everybody is most of the time somebody's not going to give you a big chunk of money and not be there to see how their investment's going. And
Mhm.
with that, that comes a lot of phone calls, looking over the shoulder, and sometimes it just, when you're in your creative space, that can take away a little bit. I would imagine.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, and that's why we let like the fans become part of this. Because as of now, we launched 3 weeks ago our Indiegogo, and this is how we usually do it. We fundraise about 80% of the film. We have some outside funds too, but then we have 150 backers, fans that want to be part of it, and they can for a good price. And we have no big executive who's paying $1 million just looking over us.
I love that, and I'll go check that out, and I'll definitely contribute to it, man.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
so what's something that you haven't done that you would like to do? Do you want to stay in the vein of horror, or is there like a rom-com, an action, a thriller? Is there something
Yeah.
down the pipeline?
Well, definitely. I'm with horror right now. And with the Clown Motel, it's a good franchise. So, I might have another one with me because if you have something that's, semi-hot, why not build it up? And then I have a few more that are horror. But then in the next 4 years, I do see myself going somewhere else, like maybe like a Western
Oh,
or
okay.
yeah. And if I don't know, maybe later on down the road, maybe like a comedy romance, but I don't know, just to get a mixture, just to do one at least, saying I did it in this genre, did it in this genre,
Hmm.
so
So you
forth.
are so you are a horror fan, but at heart, you're just a filmmaker.
Of course, yeah, and I do like I'll watch horror films all day long, but I'll also go see a nice western. I'll go see different genres, a handful. Yeah.
What's some of your favorite horror movies? I'm always curious to know this because like filmmakers, there's certain things that inspire them, and you usually, not that they bite those works, those
Mhm.
motion pictures, but like you kind of get a gist like what you're gonna see in their style. Like, oh, he likes hatchet films. There's gonna be blood shooting 14 feet across the room. Like,
Oh, definitely, definitely. And it's strange because I didn't start watching horror till I was later. I was about 11, 12 years old at the movie theaters. I saw this movie called The Ring, and I thought this was a wedding movie. So I'm like, okay, I'll go see it. Of course it wasn't. So that's my
wow,
first like real take on horror. And then I get home and watch Jason Voorhees, Halloween Michael Myers, and all that.
you went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, went down there and just got. Then I've seen everything. And how far is too far? Like Human Centipedes, like on the different spectrum. Like, have I
That's
watched the
next
first
level.
one? Yeah, but then like Hostel's more gory and stuff. And I do like a mixture of like suspense, horror, gore, a little comedy, and kind of I'm trying to mix it all into one kind of. But you just got to know the levels and stuff because I know on the second one, it might have been a little too humorous. So I'm trying to tone it down a little bit and a little more gore in this one and thriller and all that.
A little more darker and,
Yep,
and stuff.
darker, definitely.
So, will there be a lot of special effects? Do you anticipate? Because I know some people don't want to give away the secret sauce, but do you anticipate a lot more like special effects and practical effects and stuff like that? In
I would put it
three?
this way, like as many I've done 5 feature films. This will be
Mhm.
my sixth. I see this movie having just as much special effects all combined into this one movie.
Wow.
So we're
Okay.
actually going to have Joe Castro, who's great and has been on Face Off and all that. So he'll be with us the whole time. We'll have about two other special effects artists helping out. And yeah, we plan for some good ones. We're still trying to come up with new ways to kill people.
And how involved are you in all these films? I mean, you're the writer and you're the director. Are you working a lot more jobs than that? Like I know a lot of people, they'll say this is their position, and you might watch the movie and you see, oh, they got a credit as a writer and director. But you
Mhm.
and I both know once you're on set,
Yeah, that's
you're
definitely
wearing every single hat.
every hat. And it's like, you don't want to put yourself like 10 different credits or 15 credits. Pick your
Right.
top three. I'm director, writer, actor. And I'm fine if I do other stuff too. Like I run like more than half the campaign. I write the script, which is great. I love that. But then, there's parts where there's trailers, chairs have to go in and stuff, and we just have to be somewhere. So I help them out wherever. And,
Doing it.
whatever needs to be done, we get it
Yeah.
done.
I like that. So what's something, if nobody's ever seen the Clown Motel franchise,
Hmm.
um how would you describe it to them?
Let's see. So, Scariest Motel in America, bunch of clowns. How would I describe it to them? Just like a carnival fun house. You got to go in to explore it, and it's each one has its different take and stuff. We start with the ghost hunters, the hot girls. We went into the military, and then by the part two of the third one, we're trying to think of like a big anime sci-fi bus and stuff. So we're trying to like reach different levels with people too, and some people who don't like clowns, we're trying to convince them too.
Isn't that something? That's something I see with the haunt attraction every year, man, is when people get to this one part in my attraction that's just clowns, clowns, clowns everywhere. They lose their minds. And I'm not just talking about kids, teenagers. I'm talking about grown men. I'll see them grabbing onto their wives. I
Really?
don't get it, but like I'm happy because
I
that's awesome.
Yeah, I actually just moved down over to Florida, so I'm not too far from Georgia, so I'll definitely I should check it out this fall.
Definitely, I'll give you my information, and if you want to swing by anytime, you just let me know. Especially we open in September, man. I'd love to run you through there.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and you never hell, you never know. You might actually see the new room I just did. It is all clowns, and you might be like, "Holy mac!" Um, how hard is it getting a movie made? Um, when you're not, because you've pretty much raised. Have you raised the money for all these films so far, or?
yeah, for the most part. I mean, yeah, none of them were studio, purchased. No one gave us like 100,000 up front and stuff. And we've had investors come on for like 10, 20,000, and pretty much it's just finding them and through the campaigns and raising all that funds. And that's where we're at right now. So, we're a few weeks in. We raised, I think, about 25, 30,000 on the campaign, but then we also raised like 20,000 outside. So, we're like, okay, we're halfway to 100,000 would be good because we have some other outside ones. So it's a whole process, but yeah, that's how we do it is just raise the funds. But we also learn that we can't do it so much, because backers need a break. I need a break. So like right now, I'm just pretty much doing one film a year. And then they'll
Yeah.
know, like I gave them like in October, I was letting them know, hey, I'm doing this film then. So they have some time to prepare and stuff and be part of it.
When you're making one of these films, what is like the average time you're spending on making them beginning start to finish?
Um, I mean, I'm honestly spending like I'm a trucker too, so I'm trucking full-time dad. When I come home, a couple hours here or there. On the weekends, it's fully there. So I mean, it's thousands of hours of work per film. Thousands and thousands from pre-production. So I even help out with post-production, and I do video edit too. But I
Wow.
let my good producer Dave Bailey do the edits because he edits for Netflix and stuff, and it's one less thing for me, and I can just overlook it, and get that in.
That's cool. Wow. So it does take a lot, man. And whenever it's all over, it's like a big exhale, isn't it?
Oh, yep, it's big exhale. Then you might be like for like a month, okay, I'm never doing a film again, and then you're like, okay, I want to film.
Did
What's
we
the
lose
next
you?
film?
Uh-oh. I think we might. I think I lost you just for a second there.
Oh, okay, still here.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're good. Okay, guys. It was just a second. I said big exhale, and then you were gone, but
okay, yeah. I totally forgot what I was saying too.
well, no worries. Listen, I really do appreciate your time on here. One more time, just let people know where they can go and find you. I had found you on Instagram, but I had seen you hadn't posted in a while. And people have this problem on the internet where they'll go and they'll start, accounts of people.
Mhm.
And I didn't know if it was actually you or not. So I'll resend a follow there and send you a message. But
Okay, thanks. Was it the Clown Motel page or the A. Joe Kelly film?
oh man. I think it was just your personal page on
Okay,
Instagram.
yeah, I have to get more active. Like I had one, I did like 10 posts, and usually my big social media is Facebook right now. So
Oh, okay.
anything with Facebook, Clown Motels on Facebook. But yeah, right now we're live on Indiegogo, with perks, anything from DVDs to being in the movie. And we have, I don't know if you saw who we have, like Jenna Jameson, we have
Yeah.
Brett Wagner, yeah, Texas, Leatherface, Exorcist, Halloween, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. We have a good handful of people.
That is so cool, man. And I mean, out of curiosity, because filmmakers will watch this too, not just fans of horror.
Mhm.
Um, I've seen other people do this. Now, I've never started at Indiegogo before. I've funded all my films myself so far, but when I say that, like each one of my pictures, I'm doing like $10,000 to $20,000. So I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not doing like huge, bags on these films yet. Like I don't even know if I want to do that. Like I love the indie pocket, man. I love seeing what I can make with bare bones and just getting really creative.
Mhm.
But I also, you know, I cut a lot of corners because I know how to film. I know how to edit. I score music. I've been doing that all my life, and there's all kinds of things my hands are into. But when you get actors of a higher caliber, B list, C list, um, you know, do you get like some kind of agreement, like a sign on, like, hey, look, if we do this, you're going to be paid this X amount of dollars, and then they sign on? Is that kind of how like you get that guarantee, like, yo, so and so is going to be in this film?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like, we agree on a rate and stuff, and of course, most of them, half of them have to fly in, and usually that they get the nicer hotel and all that. So we
Right.
include that too. And usually, pretty much all of them are pretty flexible. They've worked with us before, worked through our producers part before, and only a few of them might want like a deposit up front, stuff like that. But that's why when we start pre-production, I'm doing most of the write-in, campaign and stuff. But then you probably still need like $15,000 set aside for that, location agreements and so
Right.
forth.
Yeah. So there. Okay. Well, hey, that's a nice little tip for anybody else that was thinking about, reaching out to somebody, and it's something I haven't done yet. I've used a lot of people, man, that I've
And you
just got really lucky.
Yeah, and you know who lives in Georgia also? Children of the Corn, the original one, red hair, long hair, Malcolm.
Oh,
Courtney
okay.
Gaines actually lives there, and he's a great actor. He lives in I think he lives by Savannah.
I will definitely look into that. I will say that this picture I start doing in October, I have put the money aside to get like one known face for this one scene.
Oh,
And it'll be my first time doing that. It's usually not important, but for this one, it was more of a thing. Like, wouldn't it be funny if at the end of this movie, when this killer is unveiled for the first time and he pulls his mask off, it's a comedy horror,
oh yeah,
that it's somebody that everybody recognizes, and they're like, holy shit, like, whoa, I would have never guessed that. So
yeah, and
yeah.
he might be a little more, and you have to fly him in too. But he's doing a lot of films. Eric Roberts. I don't know if you've worked with him before and stuff, but yeah.
I haven't, but I know who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, well, no, that's good to know, man. I got a little list compiled, and I compiled a list because you know how it goes.
Oh
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
make some calls.
Oh, definitely. Then, yeah, see what you get, talk to everyone first, and go from there. And, if you have any questions on any of the names, you could always feel free to reach out and I can see if I've worked with them before, if I know, or, anything like that.
I do appreciate that, man, and that's awesome when filmmakers are like that, because we all want to see each other get to the same spot. I love seeing people be successful in this space, man. It's hard. It's a hard thing to break into, but it's not as hard as it was years ago. Like now with there's
Mhm.
so many cameras now under 10 grand that could do what years ago you would have had to spend 50,000 to try
Oh,
and
yeah, you could get the nice, like, just a basic, like a Blackmagic 4K camera, lens kit, $3,000. You're good.
isn't that crazy?
Yep.
That's
That's
something we talk about so much here. Like it's changed the game. And if you know lighting and you're creative and yeah, and man, if you know shots and well, I always say horror, but I guess for anything, if you know shots, man, you're just golden.
Mhm.
You don't need a lot of money to make a movie no more. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely changed.
Well, it was a good talk, man. I appreciate you. Just stay on for a second.
Yeah, of course.
Joseph, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I appreciate that. Definitely go check him out, guys. Support the Indiegogo for the Clown Motel 3. That one looks like it's going to be really good. I love, the idea of these clowns coming out of the water. That sounds creepy
Oh,
as
yeah.
shit. But I'm assuming you guys can probably get your name in the credits too, which is one thing a lot of people do when they fund these movies, crowdfunding. You have an option to get your name attached to something that's going to obviously be seen by people. It already has a fan base, so that's pretty cool. Definitely check them out there. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure your notifications are on. We post every other day here on the Scream Scene. Love you guys so much, but until next time, sweet nightmares.